literally everything is food. Your social media feed is food. Your actual like food that you're consuming is food. The music you listen to is food. So it's like being mindful of what you're consuming, what you're eating. As you can see, I'm live from, I needed this. This is a reminder to get out in fucking nature because it is so healing. Today, I'm just gonna kind of chat, let the conversation flow, kind of get out of my head, get back into my body. I hope that maybe some of this resonates for you. It's also very helpful for me to just kind of talk to my camera and talk about the things that I want to talk about, and also to get out of my comfort zone, which I think is going to be like a main topic of this video, because I have some things to say about that. I have, as someone who is chronically in their comfort zone, it's time to get the fuck out of there. More, like pronto. And I will start by saying that there are people also like taking photos and things behind me, and at first I was like, I really want to sit here. Should I go sit somewhere else? Should I go sit in another place in the park? And I'm like, you know what? That is part of this, is getting out of your comfort zone. And like I said, I'll elaborate on that in a bit, but mentally I'm doing okay. It has been an interesting last few months. I feel like I have not stepped into anything really creative. Not a lot of things have been sparking joy for me, especially things that I really used to enjoy. It feels like I kind of lost that spark for some reason, and I don't know, I've been kind of reminding myself that I'm not defective. I sometimes wonder if like I was kind of getting in my head about like, did I ruin my brain? Like, there was some times when I was like doing things that were not good for me, and that's in the past now. But sometimes I look back and I was constantly chasing this like rush or this, I don't know, dopamine hits that we all want. And with social media and TikTok and things like that, I feel like that can start to dull your neural receptors, and I'm trying to get that shit back. So yeah, I'm trying to think of exactly where I want to go with this conversation, but I think I'm just gonna have some open dialogue and just be honest and raw, and yeah, kind of letting you guys know where I'm at, and also I'm trying to get out of the shyness. I need to just like embrace it and let things go. There's a dog. Cute. So something I recently read, or I probably saw on a TikTok, honestly, but somebody was saying to create more than you consume. And that really stuck with me, because I feel like oftentimes I find myself consuming so much that I feel almost dulled, where I don't want to create. So yeah, I'm trying to take it upon myself to actually like put more things out there than I'm actually consuming. And that doesn't have to look like videos or anything like that. I think sometimes being perceived in that way, even on TikTok, like it just doesn't feel the same. Lately I've been drawing a lot more, and it's like these aren't going anywhere. It's just more so for me to kind of get that out on paper and like use that creative energy to get out on paper. With the rise of AI and things, I really want to make sure I'm using my brain as much as possible. I don't use AI. I know like at my job they kind of encourage us to a little bit for certain things, but yeah, I think that creating more than you consume is actually super powerful as well, in such like a consuming atmosphere that our society has evolved into. I think it's really powerful to kind of check where you're consuming, whether that's buying, whether that's what media you're taking in, what you're eating. This kind of ties into, somebody said, everything is food. Like, literally everything is food. Your social media feed is food. Your actual like food that you're consuming is food. The music you listen to is food. So it's like being mindful of what you're consuming, what you're eating. That way you don't I don't know, don't end up so like overstimulated and just kind of like just a consumer, because in a capitalistic society, that's what they want. They want you over consuming, and they also want you to be overstimulated. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt overstimulated a lot by technology, media, etc. The multiple avenues of communication are very overwhelming. As someone who has some like autistic traits or also ADHD, like I get overwhelmed and like overstimulated very easily, but I am finding it easier to step away from things from time to time, whether that be in social situations or leaving my phone in the bathroom and just like forgetting about that shit for a while is super powerful. And then like you have that muscle memory of like, oh, where's my phone? I need to check my phone, but it's in the other room. I'll leave that bitch in the other room. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been with that. And those are things that really resonated with me. Where was I going with this? I think just saying this out loud is kind of very helpful for me, and I can also like reference back to this video. But yeah, I feel like, to be honest, I'm sure you watching have also felt very overwhelmed lately, and I think one of the most powerful things is being able to regulate your nervous system. And I wish those were I wish I had the tools a lot sooner, and I wish I kind of had the verbiage for that a lot sooner. But I am happy that now I feel like I have way more tools to do those things. And I mentioned journaling in like all my videos, but journaling has been such like a clutch thing for me. And not only that, it's like being witnessed. And when you speak to people or talk to people or get around people, I think that bouncing that information off of somebody or just being witnessed is super powerful as well. Like, yeah, journaling's cool, but when you can have somebody else's, not even their perspective or their advice or anything, but just having somebody hear you out is just so magical. Like, I think it can be really difficult to make friends in your 30s, and I think just in today's age it is harder to make friends. I've always had internet friends, so like even when I was like 12 and like it was scary and my parents thought I was gonna get abducted, I still had internet friends, and I've always had internet friends. So even somebody like that lives multiple states away, or even in a different country, like to be witnessed by a person is just like a magical feeling. So also having a partner, like my partner witnesses me, I witness him, and yeah, it's not transactional, and it just works. And I did want to tie this back into getting out of your comfort zone. That was like the biggest thing. Is I've been noticing lately that I think COVID really set me back. I mean, it set everybody back, but like socially, I was already kind of socially anxious, and I'm finally at that point where I like kind of like wanting 5 year, like I'm wanting to experience more things. I'm wanting to be around more people, even though it does make me a little nervous or makes me like feel like, oh, I'm gonna be shy. But like in general, it usually ends up being fine. I end up meeting new people. I end up saying or expressing things that I didn't really know were in me, and having experiences that I wouldn't have had if I didn't put myself out there. So that's like a huge thing, I think, is that people forget is we get so in our comforts, and especially in America, like people are so comfortable that like nobody wants to challenge certain things because they're so fucking comfortable. But it's time to get out of that. It's time to be uncomfortable. It's time to sit with the uncomfortable feelings. It's time to get into the uncomfortable situations. It's time to like not even trying to say it has to be all political, but like maybe for me that looks like this. That looks like filming in a public park. Like this is attached to a public park. There are people around, and this just makes me feel a little more comfortable with it. So I can maybe do this again soon. I don't know. I think with my style sometimes, like that's also another thing is if I want to wear it, I usually wear it. Sometimes people might look, and usually I just assume that they're thinking good things, because why not? Rather than assuming that everybody is thinking poorly of you. But I think that getting uncomfortable is just I keep saying that because I'm trying to embody that, so I think that's why I feel so strongly about it. But like I'll be going to another work event next weekend, and I'm gonna be around a lot of people and have to talk to people that I typically wouldn't talk to, and I'm grateful for those experiences. At first it was really like nerve-wracking for me, and I would think about it for months until the event day, but now I always come out of it feeling a little bit different, feeling a little bit more open, feeling like I can do anything. So I'm really trying to lean into that. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still some days when I'm like, I don't want to hang out with anybody, I don't want to hang out with friends, I don't, but yeah, like I think on Monday my one friend is having a dinner party and there's gonna be a lot of people I don't know. 2 years ago I probably would find an excuse not to go, but for me this time I'm like, all right, I'm gonna bring a fruit salad and I'm gonna show up. And can't say that I might not be awkward a little bit at first, but yeah, just I'm also thinking about it on the other end of like, oh, what if I make some friends? That might be the secret. It's like, did everyone know this already? But like looking at things a little bit differently and thinking like, oh, what are the good outcomes that could come out of it, and trying to fire those neurons in your brain of like expecting good outcomes, because typically 9 times out of 10 it's probably going to be a quote unquote good experience. So yeah, that's just kind of my take on that, and I think I'm gonna kind of wrap this up. But I really love that I've been able to sit down and chat with you guys like this. I definitely want to do some more of this, and I already feel better saying these things. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, it just feels dope. Also, I got my belly button pierced yesterday, guys. I just needed like a physical change, and I'm like, let me go get my belly button pierced. Shit was $100, but I think it was worth it. And with that, I am going to leave you with, I don't got anything else. But yeah, thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.